Welcome back everyone to another video where we are going to be talking about Mortal Kombat 11. It just came out a couple days ago and I've been playing it ever since it came out. This is a really good game and I've enjoyed it. Every day I've enjoyed it. Now, I am going to be talking about the story mode in this video and where I think the next story could take us. So if you haven't played the game yet, there are going to be spoilers, so you have been warned. So let's get started. And the first thing I really want to talk about though is just the crypt itself and how cool that is. You know, in MKX we got that whole first person perspective, couple jump scares here and there, and that was cool, but I'm not really big in the, you know, first person perspective anyways. But this one was really cool because it was a third person's perspective. You have an actual character and it feels like the 3D era in Deception, where you can just kind of roam around freely. It's really cool. And you get all kinds of cool tools like Shao Kahn's hammer. In the very beginning you get that. And I haven't really gotten a lot of tools yet. I think really Shao Kahn's hammer is the only thing I've managed to find that you can use. And you can like bust up walls with it, break pots with it, and it's a cool crypt so far. I'm still trying to look for like a katana skin, her like normal Edenian, you know, human alive skin, because all I have right now are Revenant skins of her, and I really want to get a human skin. As a couple skins for Scorpion, Noob Saibot, and others. So I'm hoping to find it because it's a huge crypt. There's like, I think they said 600 chests. The unfortunate thing is that it takes a while to do, but luckily at some point we're supposed to get an update and it's going to give us like 500,000 coins and a couple other things that you need to purchase stuff. So that's going to be good once that update comes along, and they're changing a few other things to make it easier to get coins and stuff like that, so it'll be easier to get things quicker. So that will be nice. But the crypt, it's probably the best crypt we've had as far as like the things to do in it and interactives. You know, I can still remember Deadly Alliance when it was literally just a field of tombstones and that was it. So the crypt has come a long ways. You know, and I also want to talk about the roster and how just awesome this roster is. I've been playing as pretty much every character at least once, except for maybe a handful. Every character is pretty awesome in this game and I love their interactions with each other. I haven't played enough to know all the interactions, but the interactions that I have seen, they've been pretty good. And I think this roster might be better than MK9's roster, and we all know how good that one was because it was full of so much nostalgia of the original 3, you know, games and everything. And so this roster is packed full of great characters, and we haven't even hit DLC yet. Who knows who could come then? We could get hopefully Fujin. Maybe Melina fans can get Melina as a DLC. I would like to get her back. She is my 4th favorite. Cyrax and Sector, I'm really hoping they make it. They're in the story, so I'm really hoping that they make it as a DLC. Although when you fight them in story mode, a lot of their moves, like 95% of their moves, are from MKX as Triborg's moves. So I'm not feeling good about that part. But who knows? Those are still really good character models, so it might not take long to make unique moves for them that would be new to MK11. Shiva was also a character shown in the story, so maybe we could see Shiva as a DLC. But there's so much potential for the characters, you know, that could come into this game. So I'm looking forward to what the DLC could bring to this already amazing roster. And the new characters like Centurion and Geras, they're pretty cool characters. I haven't played as Geras that much. I think I've played as him once or twice, but Centurion I've played a handful of times and I actually like the character. It's a pretty cool character. So I think overall this is a really good roster. It's a solid roster, and the fatalities to each character, everyone has at least one really good fatality. You know, Mortal Kombat has always had some really good fatalities, but this game I think has got some of the best. Now there are a couple that aren't all that great. I think Katana in particular, She has one where she like throws her fan into your chest and then she spins really fast and all your like insides and blood come flying out into like this twister, and then she like throws it out real fast or something. I mean, that one's okay, but the one that they showed in the trailer I think was better. So the fatalities and everything that these characters have is just really great. I love the fatal blows and the crushing blow element to it, because it replaces the X-rays, but you also still kind of keep the X-rays with those crushing blows. So that's a nice addition that they have for that. So I like all those things for, you know, the base roster. But now let's get into the story and what I want to talk about mainly. Now this story was really interesting. It was really, I enjoyed it because it wasn't so all over the place like X was. You know, when you play Mortal Kombat X, you would just go everywhere. And what I mean by that is, you start off 2 years after Mortal Kombat 9, and then you'll jump like 20 years in the future. But then there'll be parts of the game where you'll jump back in time 5 years or 25 years, and you're just all over the place with time. And it gets kind of confusing after a while, and it's just too much. And then to top it off, the MKX comics made things even more complicated, because there would be parts of the game that weren't in the game, they were in the comics, so you wouldn't know what was going on unless you read the comics. So MKX was just a huge mess in that regard, whereas MK11 takes more of that MK9 route, where there's just one route and it's straight, and if you play the game, you understand what's going on. You know everything from beginning to end. There's no, how'd this happen? Find out when the MK11 comic comes out, because there's not going to be one, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's a nice straight line story, and the element of it is Kronika is merging two timelines together, and in these two timelines you have characters from the past and present meet each other, and some join Kronika's side, some join past Raiden's side, and it's this whole deal, and it's just really, it's an interesting story. And then to top it off, you get really cool stuff like Kitana defeating Kotal or Shao Kahn, actually defeating him, as in like she kills Shao Kahn, and then Kotal Kahn makes her the Empress of Outworld. So that was a really cool and interesting element to see that. And then on top of that, you have other things like Baraka. He actually switches sides. He is persuaded by Kitana to actually join her side in fighting Shao Kahn. And I was like, wow, that's crazy, because Shao Kahn's like, or Baraka is like Shao Kahn's most loyal, you know, ally that he's ever had. Like, everybody else at some point has betrayed him except for Mileena and Baraka. Those were like the two most loyal people to Shao Kahn, and now here we have Baraka join the good guys. And that, to me, was awesome. The only thing I was disappointed about is he didn't get his own chapter, because I was really wanting that. I was really wanting to have his own chapter, and in that chapter, I specifically wanted him to kill D'Vorah. That was my hope and dream. Instead, what do we get? We get D'Vorah killing Hanzo Hisashi. Like, what is that? Do you just want us to hate the character even more? Because that's how you do it. But Liu Kang is the main character of this story. Like, we brought him back. He is now the main character of Mortal Kombat once again, like he was back in the original trilogy, all the way from MK1 to MK4. So we have Liu Kang as the main hero, and it's very interesting because in the end, Raiden, I guess he gives him his power, and it multiplies incredibly high to the point where he's able to fight a Titan. And the Titans are the parents of the Elder Gods, basically, and that's what Kronika is. And so Liu Kang, with the power of Raiden fused inside of him, will fight off Kronika, and when he defeats Kronika, Raiden is now immortal and actually has pupils, and that's just crazy, and that's just a weird looking thing. I mean, once you see Raiden with solid white eyes for so long, and all of a sudden he has pupils, that's just really weird. But it ends like that, and Liu Kang now controls the destiny of the realms. And depending on the ending that you get, he'll either get Raiden to help him for as long as Raiden will be around, or he'll get Katana to help him. Now, a lot of people believe that the Katana ending is the, soon to be, confirmed canon ending. And if that's the case, then Liu Kang and Katana are going to be the ones to reshape, how things happen with the whole Sand of Time. But Katana, if you get that ending, she says that no matter what we do, evil is still going to be evil, and it's still going to find its way through, and so bad things are still going to happen no matter how we alter the time. So we know something's going to come down the road with this. The question is what will happen? And I think it opens the door for so much. When I first played this game and I beat the story, I was not fond of the ending. I didn't really like it because, and I'm still kind of back and forth on it really, because it's like we're losing everything. Like everything is going away that we just built up. And we built up some cool stuff like I said, Baraka becoming a good guy, and Katana becoming Empress of Outworld. We could finally see Adenia be freed. I mean, there's just so many possibilities, and it's all gone now. So that part of it is unfortunate, but there's still hope, because who knows what Katana and, Liu Kang do. They could make anything happen now with the whole altering the timeline. I'm hoping that we still have, for the most part, when the next story does unleash, I'm hoping that a lot of these characters that we've come to know stick around, because a lot of them get killed off screen, because evidently in this timeline, Kenshi is dead, Ermac is dead, I believe Ferritor is dead now. A lot of these characters are just dead between games. You don't even get to see it. So I'm hoping when Liu Kang and Katana do reshape the realms and the timeline, that these characters make a comeback and that they won't stay dead. Because even Goro, I think, is dead. He's like a dead corpse in his own stage. So many characters just died off. And so we have that to look forward to. But what I'm really going to be interested in is, where do we go from here? Kronika was the biggest, baddest villain we've ever had, and Liu Kang defeated her. So where could you possibly go from here? And I think there's a couple options. One, more Titans show up that are even more powerful than Kronika, and that's probably the most plausible, is that another Titan with another power shows up. Kronika was the keeper of time, so is there like a keeper of reality, or a keeper of, I don't know, life maybe? I'm not really sure. So there could be another Titan with another type of power shows up, and then we got to deal with that Titan. Another thing I thought, if you go back to Mortal Kombat 9, play Shang Tsung's ending. In his ending, it talks about how Liu Kang had become a fire god and lost control of himself and needed to be stopped. And so, with the power of Shao Kahn that he absorbed, Shang Tsung learns how to control that power with the help of Boraicho, and he, learns some skills and some moves that will help him defeat Liu Kang. So what if Liu Kang actually does lose control of all this power, and he becomes the next villain of some sort, and he's like this big bad, and Shang Tsung ends up coming back, and he's like the hero. It probably won't happen, but when I beat the game, that MK9 ending kind of popped in my head, and I got to thinking about that. So I was like, that could be a route. I don't think it will be, but it's just one thing to consider. But there's so many possibilities. Like, will we see Liu Kang make other characters Elder Gods and like have a new group of Elder Gods? Could Katana, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Jade, Raiden, Fujin, could these like become the new Elder Gods, while Cassie Cage, Jackie Briggs, Kung Jin, Takeda, all these characters become the new champions of the realms? I don't know. There's so many possibilities, but all I can say is Mortal Kombat 11 is a really good game with really good fatalities, of awesome story mode that I really did enjoy. I'm going to play over it again because there's some characters that you can choose, like which character you want to play as, like Scorpion or Sub-Zero, and get different dialogue and all that. So replay value. It's a good game. Highly recommend it. I'm going to end the video here, and I will see y'all next time.